I don't do money order, money grab, or whatever you call it.
So what do you use?
Late at night I can't sleep because I hear voices. Hello? Hello, Mother Ducker? Hello? Then come here. Speak to your one season uncles. That's mommy. Little baby. So, you guys, hey, how y'all doing today? I got my baby Moo here with me. My little daughter. Hey. So, today I'm going to do a story time about the time I got mother freaking scammed. Y'all, I'm going to do a story time about the time I got scammed. And honestly, that shit was weird. That stuff was really crazy. And I felt like it wasn't enough for a story time. But honestly, I feel like while I'm sitting here, I might as well get a story time. So, you know, I'm going to get a story time or whatever. I'm like really ready to put you down because I don't think you're going to stay up here or whatever. But it's okay. You spoke. Okay, so let me tell y'all about the mother freaking story time. Okay, so, I don't know if you guys know, but I was going to move. I don't think right now I'm going to move. But I was going to move and I was on the verge of looking for a new place. What you doing? So basically, I live in LA right now. And I've been staying in my place that I've been in for a little bit. But I want a bigger place. Well, this place is pretty big. I feel like I need a bigger space, but I probably don't. I already live in like a 2-bedroom, so I think I kind of low-key want a 3-bedroom. So I want a 3-bedroom. I low-key want a house now, so I'm kind of like searching for that house type vibe. And yeah, that's where I'm at right now. This house showed up, and I was like, this house is really cute. So the house is really cute, and with me and my rent, I pay about $3,000 right now. I pay about almost $3,000 for my place. So, and I feel like I know why I pay $3,000 for my place. I pay $3,000 for my place because number one, the location. I pay that because it's a high rise. I pay that for my view because I can overview the city from a couple different windows in my house, and I feel like because my house is really, really big. And I live downtown. And all that kind of stuff. So I feel like I know why my place costs what my place costs. I don't know, but anyway, I had like a pretty good price range for an apartment. Like, and I knew if I wanted to add on a 3rd bedroom, it would be a lot more. I feel like I knew because I wanted a front yard, backyard type of thing, it would be a couple more too. And I also know that I definitely want a washer and dryer in my apartment. So, mind you, I'm going online and I'm searching for what I want for my new place. I'm looking all these different little things up and seeing what comes about. And then this one place came up. Now, I seen this place, and the reason it caught me off guard is because, number one, it wasn't that expensive. I wrote the people and I was like, oh, I really like this place. Can I come see it? And I feel like, to me, I realized that I didn't know the price, but I also knew it looked nice. And I knew the area it was in, so I figured I had a basis on what the prices is because I've been looking at apartments. I probably still should have emailed and said, hey, what's the price? But I didn't get no freaking real price, if that makes sense. So I'm like, okay, cool. So basically, I'm going to read y'all the messages off of what happened. So I was like, hey, I'm interested in your listing that I seen you posted at this, that, and this, that. Here's the address. I'm going to take that off because honestly, I don't know what the fuck be going on. So I just took that off. So I was like, hey, I'm interested in your listing, da-da-da-da-da. And then the guy wrote me back maybe like 2 hours later. He was like, hey, sorry for the delay. Response, my property is still available and move-in ready. When is a good time for the viewing? So I was like, can I come in today? He was like, yeah, but that's if you're coming now. When is a good frame? Because it's going to be a self-tour. So I was like, how about 3:30? He said 3:30 is a good time, and just let me know when you give me a call when you get set to come around. I said, what's the full address? So basically, I asked him what the full address. He gives me the full address. He asks me how I am today, and then basically I was like, just thank you, because to me, I'm just like, he said, how are you doing? I don't know, maybe that's rude, but honestly, look-it, I'm like, I don't want to do small talk, and honestly, I just said thank you. But I'm glad I fucking did just say thank you, honestly, because at this point, girl. So I told him I was around the corner. This was like at 3:20. And he said, you get to me with your full name and number so I can get you registered before you get down. So I gave him like my nickname and my number. And I said, are you here? He said, are you heading there now? I said, I'm here. He said, okay, we'll call you. Did you get the link I already sent you? I said, I didn't get no link. So he said, check again. So I'm like, I don't have no link. Mind you, I'm leaving my phone like this, so I don't see no link coming through. So when I finally click on my messages, I seen he had sent me a link from another phone number. And that link was to an app called Rently. I don't know if y'all know about this, but honestly, let me tell y'all the whole scam. So it's from an app called Rently. So Rently, and when he says self-tour, that basically means I'm going to be letting myself inside of the home on my own. It was so, like, I should have knew it was a red flag. Because when he said he was going to register me, I'm like, okay. So he was like, go to this link. It's called Rently. You click the Rently app. And when you click it, basically you have to sign up with your information. Which I didn't see. And when I say information, it's just like your name and your phone number. And I believe your address. But with me, I didn't use my real address. I used like my P.O. box. And then it was like the second portion that said, it says screenshot your ID. So basically when you go view houses anyway, they ask for your ID. So I didn't think nothing about taking a picture of my ID. And honestly, my ID, the address on my ID is wrong. So I was like, oh, well, it is what it is for as far as the address on my ID. That's wrong. So it's not my current address. And then I think the next portion is you had to put your bank information in to pay $1 to the Rently app so that you could access to see for a self-tour. So basically you have to pay $1 to get into the tour. When I say put your information, I mean like put your bank card information in. And like the code on the back and the zip code and all that kind of stuff. But then I was like, maybe this is covering the surcharges of the actual Rently thing so you can self-tour it. But it still was a red flag to me because I'm just like, what? So anyway, I used my card, which I freaking shouldn't have. And then I'm like, okay, whatever. So then after that, he says, okay, it's approved. So what you have to do now is you have to go up there, and on side of the house is 2 lock boxes because it's like, it's houses here, it's houses here. So the lock boxes is 2 different ones, but they have keys inside of them. And each lock box has a code on the top of it. So he says basically now that you're accepted, you have to go over to the lock box and put the numbers in. So like I said, there's 2 lock boxes over there. And then I have another screen that shows up on my phone after you put your card information in, after he registered me. And he was like, okay, put the lockbox information in, then you can get in the house. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So it's 2 boxes over there. So I'm just assuming that it's the box closest to the house. So I put the code in, and then basically this screen comes up talking about find the lockbox. The lockbox is open, on pipe, behind porch of the property. So I'm like, okay, it's 2 over there. I'm going to use the one that's closest to the house. So I put the code in, and it tells me it's incorrect. So I'm like, once it says it's incorrect, I'm like, okay, what the fuck is up now? Then it says, this account has been paused. Your account triggered by our automated security. As a result, your account has been paused, and you believe this was an error. Get help for the help button. So I tell him, I'm like, hey, my thing is messed up. He was like, well, let him clear out and do it again. And I said, well, which lockbox is it? And he was like, what you mean with lockbox? I'm like, it's 2 lockboxes up here. Which one do I use? Because I used the first one, and now I'm using the second one, and that one's not working either. Like, neither one is working for me, and now I'm saying my account is paused. So he was like, 2 lockboxes. Mind you, he has a heavy Jamaican accent. So I'm thinking to myself, why? For one, I'm thinking, if this your rental property, why don't you know which lockbox it is? But I'm like giving this nigga the benefit of doubt. My appointment was at 3:30. Now we hitting about 4:30, and I'm still trying to get in this lockbox. It's not working, and I'm just sitting on the porch, and I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I feel so weird about putting that information. Mind you, trust your intuition, because if I had trust my intuition, I would have never been in this situation.
Y'all, Champagne think I'm being scammed.
That place don't make no sense for California. Inglewood, especially.
Champagne told me I'm being scammed. Oh my god, but I'm gonna have to tell y'all why I think I'm being scammed. Because honestly, I hope I'm really not being scammed. You think he's scamming?
Oh no, he's becoming sketchy.
Sketchy?
He's becoming a little sketchy. He better get this lockbox open.
The second pair of tenants is here.
And they have no more information they need.
So if theirs don't work, he's scamming.
You didn't tell nobody about this surprise lockbox.
Period.
We got here.
Oh my god, I hope this is not the case.
Then this lockbox options.
Which lockbox is it?
He never verified.
My intuition told me that when I was about to put my card information in, that you shouldn't do that. But to me, the website looked so accurate that I was just like, it gotta be right. And I even Googled it. I was like, is this Rently website like secured? And I didn't see anything bad, but of course I just Googled it and I scanned and I didn't see anything. So I'm like, okay, it gotta be legit. Like 4:45. If you can wait until then, please. I'm gonna let them use the box and see if they can open it, this, that, and this, that. So when they come, I asked them, I said, I tell them what happened. And then they go over these lockbox. I'm like, I don't know why, but my account froze. So, and he was like, I said, don't use this one. Don't use these ones. I said, I feel like when you put the wrong code in the box first, it just sets the whole thing off. So I was like, use the other one first. And the guy on the phone was like, no, use the blue one. Mind you, the blue one is the one I use first. So I'm telling him, I'm like, no, I think you should use the tan one, because if you use the blue one, that's what jammed my thing up. Because even though I put both codes in, I used the blue one and then the tan one. The blue one is what messed me up. So I told him, I was like, just use the tan one. Just use the tan one. Because I had been sitting out there, and I told him, I was like, I've been sitting out here for 45 minutes. So honestly, I would suggest using the tan one first. He kept saying use the blue one. Mind you, they used the tan one first, and it opens the box. So I'm like, this nigga don't even know which one is his. Like, he don't even know which lockbox opens the thing. Nonetheless, they get the key out. It's me and my friend. It's them as a couple trying to look at the place. And then another girl pulls up and looking at the place. So all these people are looking at the place at the same time. And we all walk in. We look around. And I'll show y'all. It's really nice. It actually is really, really nice. So I'll show y'all that.
The backyard. And then this the something. Huh? Who? In the call. Did he mess up my recording? Here. This is really nice.
Did you guys see it off of Craigslist?
Mm-hmm. Where did you see it? Same place?
You just wondering why there's furniture.
It looks fucking cute. Only thing I don't like is that it got one bathroom. And you know how I am about my 2 bathrooms.
Something tells me, I'm like, let me text this guy. So I text him, I'm like, hey, what's the price? Like, what's the price of the place? Because also, let me tell y'all this thing. So when I get through on the Rently app and I actually see the property, because as you click the link, it goes to the property first. When I click the link and it goes to the property first, it says $2,000. So I get outside and I'm like, something don't seem right about this place. So I text the guy. I was like, I'm about to text him and see how much he tell me what price. To see what he say. Nigga, when I tell you, I live in Los Angeles, California. I live downtown. I just told y'all I damn near pay about $3,000. I just told y'all that. So if I pay damn near about that much, why I hit this guy and he gonna tell me that the apartment is only $850 a month, and it's $850 first. It's like a security deposit $850 and first month's rent is $850. I don't know what part of LA that is, but for $850. That's beyond cheap. Because at this point, I'm just thinking to myself, this can't be right. Like, this can't be right. It can't be right. Like, it just can't be right. Me and Shabby in the car, I'm like, let me call this guy. So I called a guy, and I'm on the phone talking to him, and this and this and that. Mind you, I'm like, oh, I like the place. It's cool. It's this and this that. But I'm just not, I'm like saying it, but in the back of my head, I'm like, this got to be a scam. So I'm just like playing it right now. So I was like, oh, well, I'll see the security deposit right now. He was like, oh, well, I only want the security deposit $850 cash. Like, he wants everything in cash. So I was like, you don't take money orders. You don't take, money orders. You don't take anything like a check. He was like, no, I just want $850 cash, or I want $850 Bitcoin or Cash App. And I'm thinking to myself, $850 Bitcoin or Cash App? Like, I never heard of nobody don't want a paper trail. He didn't want money or he didn't want a check. He literally wanted me to only pay $850 cash or Cash App or Bitcoin.
How do I send my payment to secure the property? How do I send my payment once I get approved?
Sure, the payments will be going to my lawyer, not to me, because, you know.
But what is the
I've
payment
got
going through? Is it
sure,
through PayPal, Western Union, a money order?
No, I don't use any of all those payment methods because I haven't scammed before. I don't want to go through those processes any longer. I swear to myself, I ain't gonna get involved in any other stuff like that.
So what do you use?
I don't do money order, MoneyGram, or whatever you call it.
So what do you use?
So I make a payment deposit. You know, you could do a secure deposit or an account deposit. You know, depends on how. You know, depends on the payment method you love for the home.
You prefer cash?
I prefer a cash deposit or a Bitcoin ATM payment.
A
Bitcoin?
Bitcoin?
Go into my lawyer. I don't add that to my personal income because it's going to be returned to you once you're living my property.
Bitcoin? So to me, I'm like, something's not right. And he kept saying, oh, I got scammed before. I just want a good Christian person in my house to take it over. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay. I was like, okay, like, this guy's a scam. I said, since I already sent my ID, send me your ID. This is what look at his fucking ID he sent. For one, I told you he had a heavy Jamaican accent, and I'm not taking from nobody, but I dang on sure bet this guy doesn't have a heavy Jamaican accent. Number two, anybody in their right mind knows you cannot use a P.O. box on your license as your address. Like, you just can't. And his address literally says P.O. Box 75328, and it doesn't even look like that it was written. I'm looking at it now. Like, it don't even look like, it looks like it's photoshopped or edited. And then on top of that, it said it was issued in 2015. So basically, at this point, you're telling me I can get this place for $850 first month, $850 deposit in LA with a front yard, backyard, all this space in the house, nice, newly renovated. Like, what? Like, sis, come on now. I'm not that stupid. I'm like, you know what? It was a scam. It is what it is. I just went on about my day. And I'm just like, you know, maybe the app is secure and whatnot. So then on my bank card, I seeing all these little funny ass charges on it. And I'm just like, I know you lying. I know you lying. So I had to go back with my bank. I had to dispute that stuff from the little charges from my card. And then I also had to cancel that bank account. I had to cancel that like bank account and get a whole new card issued and all that kind of stuff because it was literally a whole scam. So what happens is when you put your information in that Rently, they get your ID and they get your bank card. But see, now I cancel my bank card, it's a wrap. I feel like the address on my license, that's not my current address, so that's okay too. Like, that's an old address, so thank God it ain't nothing they can do with that either. Literally, they had got my whole ID and card. So if you ever hear something like Rently, don't do it. And then somebody told me when I was talking to one of my friends in LA, she was like, sometimes they take it so far as and they actually get the cash deposit from people. So they had their bank card information, they had a license, and they had a cash deposit. Like, and it's so crazy because I felt so bad because the other people that I met there that was doing the tour, they was like, oh yeah, we're just looking for a place, we just new here, and this, that, and this, that. And I promise to you, I'm pretty sure they sent a deposit. Like, I can just tell by looking at certain people. I feel like I'm pretty sure they get a deposit. I'm like, if I had their phone number, I would have told them off bucks. He already told us all different prices, this, that, and this, that. But to me, that was so freaking crazy on how I got scammed looking for a new house. Because honestly, at this point, I'm over it. But y'all need to be careful out there because people is desperate. They out here trying to get their coin up and they don't give a who they taking it from, honestly. But girl, I cannot believe it. And that house was so cute. All I kept thinking about is then I'm running around in the backyard doing this, doing that, having fun, living her best life. And no. No. No.